qualifications. Nick Kenny of Wales then taking out Stowe Bunce of the USA to make it through to round 2, where he will face former world champion Raymond van Barneveld. But just before the second match comes on stage, which will be imminent, let's hear from the winner of the last match in the afternoon, Robert Owen, who only got into this championship because of the withdrawal of Dom Taylor through a failed drugs test. He made it through against Gabriel Clements and spoke to Mark Wilson afterwards.
I'm so proud of myself, but I can only thank the people which are around me, which are giving me the support. Jason Ting from Modus and everyone, they're giving me, for a low-down player for Jason, with all the stars which he's got, but I can only thank him for having the belief in me. And obviously my wife back at home now, which is back at home now, not for this game, so she's probably crying in the house now. But without her, I wouldn't be half the player I was. I wouldn't be allowed to do anything. Right? But just a big, massive thank you to everyone around me, really.
You raced into a 2-0 lead, playing some lovely darts. Then Gabe hit you back really hard in that third set, and at the start of the fourth set, you had a flurry of scoring. Did at any point then you start to doubt what was happening?
I sort of felt, even though he was coming back, I still felt I was in control of the game. So if I just keep my cool, just keep on doing what I was doing, he wasn't going to survive that sort of barrage, really, with what he was having. And I got to say something, the crowd were absolutely magnificent again, which is a massive change.
Was that a concern? Because there were a lot of German fans here today.
Yeah, but I even thought even the German fans were chanting my name, which is, just I could do well, really, but like I said, 2 years back I was not quite in my brand. So they sort of all know who I am. And yeah, it was quite surreal.
There you go, Robert Owen, who has held on to his tour card as a consequence of that win against Gabriel Clements in the final match this afternoon. On his way to the stage right now. He's a name familiar to fans of darts on the radio, but since we started bringing you our coverage, Mensur Suljovic of Austria, the gentle, has been part of World Championships and match plays, but it's fair to say, Paul Nicholson, that 2024 and, well, even 2023 has not been too kind to his form.
Yeah, not great when it comes to ranking stuff, but making another World Cup final this year with Robbie John Rodriguez, it was a bit of a surprise, but it got him in the Grand Slam of darts, and it gave him a little bit of impetus going into maybe his final challenge of 2024. But he's up against someone who had a very good pre-Christmas in last year's tournament, but ended up being stunted by a certain Lug Littler.
Matt Campbell of Canada now making his way to the stage. I think that's a bit of Imagine Dragons he's got as his Hawk-on Lucy, is that right? And you were telling me that one of his compatriots has stuck around to check him out tonight and give him some support from Canada.
Jim Long is in the crowd tonight. He's actually got quite a lot of support. People over here from the Championship Darts circuit, which head up a lot of the North American events. They also take care of the North American Championship. Now, predominantly, Dance, if you win the North American Championship at Madison Square Garden in June, that will qualify you for the World Championship. But if you win that tournament and you have a tour card, it doesn't count. Right. Campbell won that tournament at MSG, beating Stowe Bunce in the final, but Campbell did not qualify by winning that event. He had to go to the last chance qualifier in the last few weeks. And when he came through that, he did something that was rather heartbreaking to a lot of darts fans. He beat Mervyn King in the last game, resulting in Mervyn losing his tour privileges for the first time in the PDC since 2006.
So he was one of the last, Matt Campbell, to make it into the draw that we brought you on talkSPORT from the Oki bar in the Strand just a few short weeks ago. And Matt Campbell is just going through his warm-up exercises. The gentle Mensur Suljovic, who won the Champions League of darts some years ago, his big TV ranking title. Loves the double 14 finish. We once met him on the Blackpool Promenade having an ice cream during the course of the match play when he was over here with his family.
Yeah, just in winter clothes in the middle of July in Blackpool.
Yeah.
That was a wise choice.
It was, wasn't it? I think he overclubbed ever so slightly. Mensur Suljovic, a player that Paul Nicholson alongside me, Ian Danter, has beaten on that stage. We're going back about 12 years now, aren't we?
That's right. That was a tough match. It was a slow game, but I knew that would be the case. I was mentally prepared for that.
60.
We had very similar averages of around about 90 to 91 in that match, but winning by 3-1 against Mensur on that stage, it was hard work, and I was relieved to get through. And this is the thing about this game for Suljovic and Campbell. This is their first game of this tournament. There will be the initial jitters of, right, let's get settled, but you don't have that amount of time to get settled. Just ask Snow Bunce.
Yeah. Who is out. Been beaten by Nick Kenny of Wales in our first match this evening. Still to come later. Michael Smith, former world champion, taking on Kevin Dukes. They're underway over on talkSPORT in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Spurs 0, Manchester United 0. Sam Matterface and Leanne Sanderson, your commentary team in that part of North London, but just around the North Circular here at Ali Pali. We're in the first leg of this race to 3 sets. 5 legs to a set, and slow starters often suffer. Suljovic with this very jittery style. He wraps one finger over the dart, one finger under the dart, really fiddles with the dart before it leaves his grip, floats through the air. He kind of floats with it as he lets the dart go. Campbell much more solid in terms of the base from which he throws.
I always said that if Rudolf Nureyev was going to throw a dart in someone's style, it would be Mensur Suljovic.
That's beautifully put, beautifully put.
99.
He's the player that moves on dart 3 more than anybody else that I can think of. Almost as a pas de deux for the time he's throwing the 3rd dart.
Yeah, he should get dismount points.
Yeah.
Mensur 157.
That's Charlie Corstafine, you can hear calling the scores. Our referee for this match, 157 for Suljovic. First dart is way into small 20. He should get down under 100. Campbell is waiting
97.
on 116. He's got the darts, Matt Campbell, remember, in this and the 3rd and the 5th sets if we go that far. Treble 20 hit, 16 for double top, and a 116 checkout gets us underway, courtesy of Matt Campbell of Canada.
Yeah, that was mean from the Ginger Ninja. That's a textbook 116, and starts the game with its first ton plus checkout. I think this is going to be a close match. Campbell was here pre-Christmas last year doing some very good things, including beating James Wade. But the last time that Suljovic was here was 2 years ago, and the last person he played was Michael van Gerwen with that very famous 161 checkout when Michael decided not to go for the bull for the match, and then Suljovic took the set, meaning Van Gerwen had more to do. That's one of the most played finishes of the last decade.
It's up there with, well, not quite up there with Della taking the 138 out to beat Bristow to win the whole damn shooting match.
It also included, Dance, what I believe is some of the best darts commentary we've ever had on talkSPORT 2, because Chris Mason, his words, I have that voice note saved on my phone. It still gives me chills calling in that shot.
1-0 here to Campbell, 1-0 to Spurs. Over on talkSPORT against Manchester United, Dominic Solanke's given Tottenham the lead in that Carabao Cup quarter-final.
Yeah, Tottenham starting that match like Brentford start most of their games at home.
Tottenham picking up from where they left off, having declared against Southampton at 5-0 on Sunday night. 84 for Suljovic, who's got the darts in this second leg. He's down to a finish of 160. Campbell, though, should get down to a 2-dart finish, maybe from 193. No, not quite, with just 59 scored. Suljovic all on the 20s here, 2 trebles and then double top if he can get the first one in, but again, he's just dipped below the red lipstick.
Well, 160 is arguably the best finish that Suljovic has ever hit. I'll tell you which one it was in the next leg. Suljovic is 1-0 down in the first set here. Campbell's on 134. Small 18 to start. Looking to get 98 to leave double 18, can't do it with two small 20s. So Mensur back for 100 to equalise at 1 leg all in the first set on talkSPORT 2.
Well, there's treble 20 for tops from Suljovic. Wires tops right on the top of it, but pins it with the final dart. And we're at 1 apiece on talkSPORT 2.
Yeah, 160 finish for Suljovic. It was at Cardiff. It was when he won the Champions League around about 8 years ago. He was playing Raymond van Barneveld in the semi-finals. Raymond was on a double after 9 darts. Suljovic was on 160 after 9 darts and took it out to win the match. It was unbelievable. That place, the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff, it was completely shell-shocked, and he'd gone to beat Gary Anderson in the final.
Well, we're into leg 3, and the Ginger Ninja, as he's called, Matt Campbell, looks not too dissimilar to our talkSPORT NFL colleague Will Gavin.
That's very true.
134.
I don't think he supports the same team, though. I don't think he's for the 49ers.
No, I'm sure he must be a hockey fan, right? He's got to be a...
He's from Toronto.
So he's Maple Leafs.
Has to be.
The only way. He wants 142 here, Campbell, in leg 3. It won't go with a single 20 to start. What can he lay up for here? Oh, single 9. But treble 19 is picked off very nicely to leave him on 56 for the leg. Suljovic way back in the foothills of Austria on 301. Looking across at his scorecard and looking at what Campbell's got left, which is 16 and tops for a 2-1 lead. There it is, swift and efficient kill of 56.
Yeah, that's the way you do it. Michael van Gerwen, take note. Campbell did not leave Suljovic on 161.
Once bitten, twice shy.
100.
Well, Suljovic really has struggled over the last couple of years. Had some grief in the family. It hit him hard. Mensur has got a lot of fans out there. He hasn't won a PDC ranking tournament since 2019. He won 2 ranking tournaments in September of 2019, but hasn't won since then. Has been to 2 World Cup finals in that time, but they're not ranked, and that's why he's so far down the rankings at the minute. And at the age of 52, it'll be interesting to see how many more years he is plying his trade in the PDC.
Could well slip out the top 64 if he's not careful. He's popped in a 180, as you've just heard in this leg, Suljovic. But he's not on a finish, he's miscounted. He's on 162 for the leg. Campbell tumbling down from 316 with his first 180 of the night.
Is that Campbell trying to do a Kyle Walker and being a Mr. Tumble? No offence, Kyle. Well, 162 and he got 2 treble 20s. Silly Mensur to leave a bogey number. He's left double 16 though, and Campbell at 136. By no means a gimme.
For the set though, it won't go. Single 20, so 116 left. Stays on the 19s and picks off 4 of those. So he's on tops. But Suljovic wants 2 16s for 2-2 in this first set. On the wire, I thought that was in. I thought that was in. That is 2 apiece.
That first start was like, who wants to be a millionaire? But we don't want to give you that.
As Chris Tarrant used to say. A lot.
2-2, first set on talkSPORT 2, and already this one looks like it's going to be close. Campbell's averaging 98. Suljovic staying very competitive with an inferior average. But the fighting qualities of these dart players, they're going to need it in this game. You can just sense it.
So much great darts to come tonight. We've got Scott Williams, Nico Springer up next for the right to face Rob Cross.
Seriously, Dance, that game for the darting purist is like a donut, unlimited for Homer Simpson. That is everything he could possibly wish for.
And then Michael Smith against Kevin Dutz to round off the night. Tomorrow, more great talent on the stage in the afternoon. Bessel Nyman, I'm looking forward to seeing him coming up against Cameron Carolissen of South Africa. Ian Wright's playing Stephen Bunting. The bullet takes on Kai Gotthard, the German who won his first round match in the afternoon session. And of course, both afternoon and evening sessions live with us here on your home of darts on the radio.
What's fascinating about the situation with Kai Gotthard is that we found out that he only had 2 spare darts, and he's got one of those in the locker right now, so he's only got 1 spare left. I wonder if his manufacturer's got him some more in the last couple of days. Campbell might not need another visit after this for set 1 because he's got 80 points. Here he goes, single 20, would love another for tops, and he's coming in for tops to win set 1.
Just wires it on the top, just nudged that wire down slightly on the spider. Suljovic though is back on 200 less this visit. 2 single 20s, so he's down to a finish, and then went for the bull, hit 25, but could all be academic because it's tops for Campbell. Over the top of it with the first and with the second, but a bit closer, and that's the first set. Matt Campbell gets himself underway, and Mensur Suljovic, a little shake of the head as he exits stage left. The Austrian finds himself a set behind. Second set on the way in very short order here on talkSPORT 2 of the PDC World Darts Championship.
talkSPORT 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
Thank you. He is, isn't he? You'll just need to talk about a little bit there, Jack. You're a little bit quiet. That's better. That's much more like it. I mentioned it, yes.
Right, Peter Wright joins the show. Right, Pete?
How are we doing?
Go on, Pete.
Yeah, really appreciate you coming on, Pete. Obviously, it's massive, this tournament. Love it every year. It comes around. You've played tonight. How did you rate your performance?
What do you think the performance was? It was terrible, but, you know, I got away with it. You know, I'm disappointed for my fans and I think the way I played, but, you know, at least I'm through, you know, until after Christmas now.
Pete, I can tell how disappointed you are in your performance, and sometimes it's about getting the job done, which you've done. What was the part of your game that you feel let you down the most?
All of it.
Right.
I didn't hit trebles, I didn't hit doubles. What do you think?
I saw you a couple of 180s though.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, just struggled. I don't know why. The practice was going fantastic for the past week. You know, I felt actually better than I did when I won the Worlds for the first time ever. That's where my mindset was, and it's weird. I can't explain it. But, you know, at least I'm improved, and I can only improve now and get it right for the next round.
Pete, got to ask you, obviously the Ali Pali crowd, everyone's been talking about the last 24 hours. The atmosphere has been electric. How good is it to be a part of that?
It's totally fantastic. You know, it was them. You know, I had an interview earlier with Abby on stage, and it was them guys who got me through. You know, they're fed up with seeing me playing rubbish, and you know, they all got behind me, and so you know, it's, you know, you don't want to let them down, and you don't want to let yourself down. So, you know, they're fantastic, and they all come out here, enjoy themselves, fancy dress, you know, and yeah, it's great for darts.
Saying, playing a bit of John Denver's sort of dance remix of Take Me Home Country Roads, and they're all on their feet, punching the air, wigs flying everywhere, traffic cones on heads flying everywhere, Avengers assembling, gladiators, people dressed as crayons. That's a fancy dress outfit I don't really understand, but there we are. People going dressed as Crayola crayons. Other brands of crayon are available. Mario, Luigi, jockeys, Banana Man, they're all here.
So many gnomes this year.
So many gnomes.
It's getting quite frightening.
What, have you got a gnome phobia, have you, Nico?
I think I've seen too many horror movies, Dance.
Okay.
Where the gnomes come to life and they do things in the night.
I knew about Chucky and Child's Play, but I never knew there was a horror film where gnomes were the chief protagonists.
I think if anybody was going to come to the darts and dress as Ryuk from Death Note, that would be a statement. But if you were going to have the World Championship in Japan, somebody would do that. I guarantee it. But this is Canada versus Austria. Well, this is the kind of rivalry you'd get in bobsleigh or downhill skiing or something.
It is, yeah. It's Franz Klammer against, oh, God, I can't think of a Canadian skier.
The only one I know is Alberto Tomba, but he was from Italy, wasn't he?
He was. Franz Klammer was the famous Austrian downhill skier who was absolutely nuts. No idea about going slow. There were two speeds, quick and crash. I remember Alan Brazil got him mixed up with Hans Krankel, the Austrian football striker, a great clip of the week. Don't forget, on Christmas Day, on talkSPORT, you'll get Hawksbee and Jacobs clips of the year.
58.
I happen to feature in that, where I accidentally mispronounced Luke Littler's name with an H at the start of his surname rather than an L.
59.
I mentioned it once, but I think I've got away with it. Second set underway. Matt Campbell of Canada, 1-0 up against Mensur Suljovic, and popping in at 180, 3 darts on a pinhead in the corner of the treble 20 bed.
Well, you can definitely see all three in the treble 20 because he's now wearing spectacles, and it does take some players a little bit of time to get used to that.
81.
But Campbell did play really, really well in qualifying, winning 3 games to get to this championship once again. He is playing in his 6th consecutive PDC World Championship. And like John McDonnell said in the introductions, Suljovic is playing in his 16th. He made his debut back in 2008. And that was the very first Ali Pali.
He's not enjoying himself out there, though, Mensur. He's snatching at his throw for his darts. Again, a practical Nureyev-style pas de deux when he released the 3rd dart, but only got a single 20 with it. And Campbell is ruthlessly heading down to a finish. Down to double 16 against the darts, but Suljovic has a finish of 161. He won't take it. He won't take it.
If I were Matt Campbell right now, I'd be thinking, this game is going my way. I've got to make the most of this. Double 16 he's got. He misses with the first one. Second one is right in the middle. And the one thing about Matt is that he shows very little emotion in game. If he was to win, he'd maybe show a little bit, but he's somewhat muted in that department compared to a lot of people who are in this event.
100.
It's one of his best qualities. He just plays like a poker player. He doesn't give a great deal away.
Mensur has 6 defeats on the spin coming into these championships. Lost all 3 group games of the Grand Slam, and lost to Wesley Plaisier in the first round of the Players' Championship finals. So he won't have been full of beans coming into this tournament. Ryan Searle awaits the winner of this game in round 2. And I have packed my Ryan Searle dart shirt ready for that round 2 encounter.
Apparently our friend Dan Dawson's started a petition to get his hands on Nitin Kumar's shirt from today, which 59. He thought was glorious. Everybody's got to have a favourite player and a favourite dart shirt.
How soon he's forgotten Steve Beaton. No sooner has he retired than Dawson's 95. Moved on. Dear, oh dear.
He hasn't even handed his card in yet, by the way. Steve Beaton could still do a full 180. He won't do it, but it would be funny if on finals day, January 3rd, Steve just said, actually,
yeah,
I think I'm going to stay. Because he does have that option until the morning of January the 4th.
Campbell's ended 2024 really well, but he started awfully. He lost his first 12 matches in a row at the start of 2024. So he's picked up really well. And I guess if you're showing form at this time of year, that's what helps in a World Championship. There comes a second 180 of the night for Suljovic. So many moving parts of that action. He's down to 70, but Campbell trying to get down from 1-1-3, won't get to a finish.
39.
Only 39 scored. So Mensur to level it up and break back. 70 needed.
So many options on this number. Treble 14 was the target, trying to leave double 14. He's hit double 60 in there, and then missed double 12. That was so
46.
unorthodox. And the thing that made it even more so is that it looked like he meant it on purpose. This time, Campbell on 74. He's gone for the textbook. He's missed a single 20. Silly, silly Matt.
Oh dear. Hands the initiative back to the Austrian. Double 12. Inside that, across the double 6 at 3 o'clock on the board. Inside that, down to the very bottom of the board. Double 3. And he's inside that as well. He thought he'd nailed it. He was walking. But no, tops for Campbell.
Now double 10. He splits. He splits again. Double 5 for the Canadian. And he does exactly what Suljovic didn't just do. When you split 3 doubles in a row, that's what we call a triple split. There was a double split there from Campbell, but on the last start for double 5, he finds the mark and he's 2-0 up in the second set. He's within 501 points of being 2 sets to 0 up.
I've got Phil Collins in my head now. He splits again.
140.
For what he said there.
I've got that Australian band in my head, Split Ends.
Oh, thought, you know, what ended up with Crowded House.
Indeed.
Neil Finn was the singer in that band. What great band they were, Split Ends.
134.
Anyway, back to the darts. 2-0 Campbell in set 2. Looking to go 2 sets to live up on Mensur Suljovic. Only 53 scored. Suljovic, he does have a real big following in this game. Lots of people love him.
100.
But his darts appear to have tapered off in terms of the form he was showing in our first 2 or 3 years that we started bringing you darts on the radio, where he was top 16. He was regularly high up on the order of merit. Now then, 137, treble 19 and treble 16 hit, and double 16 hit. That's more the sort of form that we're used to from the gentle, and he's back in the second set.
Absolutely phenomenal in the bottom left corner of the board. With the treble 19, he leaves 80.
92.
He gets 5 16s and ends the leg and stays in set 2. Could that be the turning point? We've already had 3 ton-plus finishes in this game. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dance, but I'm sure our friend Chris Mason tipped that there would be 3 ton-plus finishes in this game or more. So I think Mason's right on the money again. Just like Campbell is right there with a 140.
Still 1-0 to Tottenham. Incidentally, Chelsea are playing Shamrock Rovers tonight in the Europa Conference League. They were pegged back to 1-1, but it's now 2-1. Mark Guiu with the second for Chelsea. Campbell's averaging 93 for the match, and indeed this set. Suljovic averaging 96 in this set, trying to wrestle back some control in this game. But Campbell's down at 133. Suljovic back on 302. Why isn't he going for 18s from 302?
Because he's being silly. He's got 83, and losing this set in this leg is due to the fact that he hasn't scored as well as Campbell, and the fact that he's made that tactical error. Campbell's going to leave a double, and that double is tops. He will come back for that after whatever Suljovic does with 2-1-9.
Well, he picks off treble 19 twice. Decent setup from Suljovic, but it may be in vain for the set. And a 2-0 lead. Oh, he's well under double top. Double 10 for Campbell, misses it. So, a chance for Campbell, Suljovic rather, has just taken out 137. This is a ton.
Straight up the guts of the 20. Only gets a single, looks north at 2 of them. And his effort at the first tops was just a bit low and left. Campbell back for 10s.
Inside, up for double 5. Just above, 1 dart left. And further away. Double trouble for both. Suljovic back on tops to level at 2-2 in this second set.
Doesn't even like double top, Mensur Suljovic. He's missed it again. However, he's on 10s now. He's missed it to the right. He's only got 1 dart left to save the set. And he looks to the heavens. It's as if he did get some divine intervention. But I assure you, Mensur, You're the one who hit it. It's 2-2 in the second.
And now Mensur has the darts in the decider to try and bring us level at 1 apiece. Here on talkSPORT 2 at the PDC World Darts Championship at Alexandra Palace. 3,000 darts nutcases in here with us.
When he hit that double 10 there, with that third dart to save the set, Mensur Suljovic was doing a Randy Orton impression with his hands out to the side. Oh, by the way, last night you missed a trick, because when our friend G.G. Mathers was walking out, he was walking out with cold chisel.
Was Jimmy Barnes.
Yeah, indeed.
Great
Thought
singer.
he'd like a bit of that.
Yeah, well, he went on to sing that great song, Good Times with In Excess.
Indeed.
One of their big hits.
But it wasn't Working Class Man, which I think was a missed open goal.
Yeah, that'd be a great game. Cold Chisel, great Aussie band.
56.
Well, if Campbell loses this set, he's going to go backstage and probably scream into a pillow, because this should have been done and dusted by now.
Well, he looked firmly in control and looked like he was heading inexorably for a 2-set-to-love lead.
96.
Suljovic, though, has the chance to get us level at 1 apiece. Don't forget, we've got our talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. I'm just waving at the camera now. Nico's giving the more sedate thumbs up. talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. There's lots of content, not just the live streaming of these games for a watch-along, but also on that channel you'll find interviews, video interviews with the great and the good from the matches that have been played. And there's our Aces and Arrows podcast that myself and Nico and Mace have done at the start of this tournament, and we'll have another episode of that streaming next Monday.
I don't know what's going on, Dance, but I think that Suljovic is playing bogey number bingo here. He's left 162. He tried to leave 162 again. Now he's left 165. However, he has got a nice chunky visit lead here. With a 25 at the end of that one, he's left 117. But Campbell, if he gets a 140, will pressurise. Here he comes. 80 with the first two. Last start lands to leave 148. So, who wins from here? Set 2 is on the line.
15 hit, 102 left for Suljovic. Made that 82. Bull for double 16. He's looking at it, and he's hit it.
85.
216s when if he comes back. Campbell wants 148. He was going for the 18s, single 18 and single 19, and then 25 to set up a 2-dart finish. But for the set, and you never would have thought this was possible 5 minutes ago, Mensur Suljovic wants double 16.
To level things up, double 16. And rest assured, that one is right in the middle. Suljovic looks like he's having a blast on the stage. He looks like he's under no pressure at all. There's only one place between these two players in the world rankings. But Dance, you've got one person leaving the stage right now, crestfallen. The other one, Mensur Suljovic, who's just equalised, has stayed on the stage to serenade everybody.
We'll play to a finish next, and who knows what happens next. It's Mensur Suljovic 1, Matt Campbell 1 at the PDC World Darts Championship here on your home of darts on the radio, talkSPORT 2.
talkSPORT 2, official.
How many hours a day do you tend to practice, Michael?
Depends, but minimum 2 hours, 2.5 hours a day. Wow. You need to. Yeah, but so, not all the day. Sometimes I also have a family at home, but when you train, you have to train intensely on the right targets. You know what I mean? There's no point just throwing to the dartboard. You need to set yourself certain targets to make sure you're going to be a better player.
Do you have a coach? Do you ever have anybody kind of look at the way you're throwing?
Coach is a big word, but I speak a lot with Vincent van der Voort. He's a very good friend of me. He's knowledge about. He's been on the tour for a long time, and we speak a lot.
Yeah, very interesting.
It's a bit different, isn't it? Because I think when you look at it, you think, right, lads just go up, throw darts.
Yeah, but
obviously it's much better than that. But just to see the tweaks that you have to change, I think he's somewhat for the average person doesn't understand that.
No, small pieces can be a massive impact on darts. You know what I mean? And for us, that's really important, and especially around the World Championship. You want to work on it. You want to turn up as good as possible.
Yeah.
They never made. You don't want to blame yourself for not doing something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You have to do everything to perform as good as possible.
So I was going to say quarterfinals for you last year, wasn't it, Michael?
Disaster.
Yeah.
Disaster. How can I lose that? After that, he didn't win the game anymore.
Yeah. He lost to Luke Humphries next, didn't he? I think. Yeah.
Last year, I was in good shape. I played really well up till that game. Out of the blue, I didn't perform well. But that happened to me too often in the last 2 years. There, I played some couple of good games and then a big drop. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes you can't always find the answer, but at least you need to try to find one. That makes it a lot easier for yourself.
You've inspired a lot of people in Holland, and you've won the championship 3 times. And of course, we have Barney. So, is it big in Holland? The actual
live?
Of
course. I'd imagine it would be. Everything is live on television, so that's good.
The 2025 PDC Darts World Championship. Live on talkSPORT 2.
You're listening to coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship on talkSPORT 2 with Village Hotels. Dine out, stay, work out and play with 33 cracking locations to choose from this festive season. I'm Ian Danter, alongside me Paul the Asset Nicholson in our side stage commentary box, and the emotions of the 2 players on the stage could not be more different, even though it's one set apiece between Mensur Suljovic of Austria and Matt Campbell of Canada. You could land a helicopter on Matt Campbell's bottom lip at the minute, it's jutting out that far, whereas Mensur Suljovic he's playing to the gallery something amazing at the moment, Nico.
Yeah, just a bit, because during the break what the dancers do is they don't just dance on the walk-ons, they actually go out and entertain the audience as well. They were wearing some promotional t-shirts and throwing them to the fans. And then when Mensur went back onto the stage, he was almost gesturing that he wanted a t-shirt, and one of the fans threw one onto the stage for him. And then he started saying, well, who wants it back then? Playing a bit of a promotional role. Well, if you can land a helicopter on Matt Campbell's bottom lip, Suljovic is smiling just as much as a person who's doing a Colgate advert. Other toothpastes are available.
They're just throwing some practice darts, and we're about to play to a finish. Remember, no more comfort breaks from this point on. At the moment, they're both almost identical in terms of their averages. 88.17 Suljovic, Campbell 88.3. The difference is in the finishing. Basically, Suljovic, they've both got 5 legs apiece, but Suljovic has hit those doubles in less visits. Only 13 darts thrown at a double to Campbell 17. Lots more live sport to come over the weekend. A bit of game day. We all love a bit of game day on a Saturday, and it will start with Aston Villa against beleaguered Manchester City on talkSPORT Saturday lunchtime. Whilst over on talkSPORT 2 we'll have Portsmouth against Coventry City in the Championship. That's at the same time, 12:30. And then I'll be at Portman Road, Ipswich Town against Paul's beloved Newcastle United. That's our 3 o'clock game day exclusive from the Premier League.
Can you do an impression of that game that does the game day? Game day.
Game day. Yeah, is that good enough? It's not.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Imagine if he was going to get some fast food. What would you like? Fast food. I was trying to make sure I didn't do any branding there.
Yeah, no branding.
140.
Back underway. Matt Campbell has the darts at the start of set 3 and gets underway with a decent 140 score. He'll have been ruminating and cogitating about the chances that he afforded Mensur Suljovic. He took them, including a 137 checkout that was the highlight of that second set from the gentle.
Well, we speculated at the time that could be where the game twists around. It turns out that it has been.
Absolutely that. And Suljovic now finding his range in the red bit, looking for his 3rd maximum of the game. Just above that. But he's keeping pace with Campbell in this opening leg of set 3.
Yeah, curiously, right now, Campbell is averaging pretty much on his seasonal numbers. But he did come down a bit at the end of that second set, so it's just what's happened in the last 10 minutes. Finds himself on 121 here after 9. That is better. That's where you want to be as a scorer in this tournament. On a finish after 9, but healthily down past the 170 mark. Single 20 for Campbell. Looking at the 51 and gets it. Looking at the bullseye. Misses it outside the 25 with a single 4 hit. Suljovic now 167 to lead this game.
Second biggest finish on the board. It won't go because he only hit single 20 at the start. Picks off the treble 19 neatly enough though. So 90 left, if I remember, if my counting's correct.
102.
Went for bull for double top at 25.
46.
Campbell pins double 18 from a quick 46 checkout. That's the sort of efficiency we were seeing from him early on.
Absolutely. It's been a really weird season for Matt. Winning the North American Championship is definitely the highlight, but on the PDC Pro Tour,
139.
one final in Players Championship 12 and 4 last 32 placings on the tour.
100.
That's not good enough to keep a card if you keep doing that. That final came out of the blue.
He didn't win a match till May this year.
That's what I mean about out the blue. Because when he started winning games, he went through almost everybody in a day. He is a somewhat enigmatic talent, but technically, there's nothing to question. Maybe mentally and approach-wise, that's where he gets it wrong.
Just picked off another maximum there, Campbell, to get down ahead of Suljovic. But Suljovic trying to reply with a maximum of his own. Not quite, just dipped below. He moved so much on that final dart. And Campbell will be down to a finish, but Suljovic will be back to have a go at 126 next.
Mensur require 126.
See where he goes. The 19s seems to be where he's looking. Single 19. Wanted another treble just to lay something up for a bullseye.
86.
But has to make do with treble 16. 81 for Campbell, Nico.
57 hit, so he's on double 12. And that's what we mean by clinical. What a great response after losing set 2. Because he's averaging 120.24 in this third set. He is defying really good darts from Suljovic and not allowing him any shots at a double.
Chelsea 4-1 up on Shamrock Rovers in the Conference League at half-time. A hat-trick from Mark Griou and a goal from Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. Half-time over on talkSPORT at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0 in that Carabao Cup quarter-final. Dominic Solanke with the only goal. If you've got the app downloaded, you can switch between our live sport this evening across the network.
Suljovic wearing what is probably the most fashionable colour at these World Championships. A shirt that is predominantly white with red on the left and right sleeves and down towards the ribs as well, with a black collar signifying what can only be the Austrian flag. But because of the white body, he looks like he plays for RB Leipzig.
Campbell's is more a rudimentary black and grey, but with the ginger flame-haired caricature of himself on the back with the bandana.
59.
Yeah, it looks like a dart shirt that's got Johnny Bravo on the back.
Yeah. 160 for Campbell to clean up this set. Double top will definitely clean it up. Oh, he's wiped the floor with a 1-2-1 average to win set 3. That is as clinical a set as you can get from the Canadian. And now Mensur Suljovic has to do it all again.
No emotion after he hit the 160 checkout. And believe me, there really should be, because that set is the best we've seen in this tournament. And that's bettered what we saw from Callan Ridge this afternoon. His first set was better than, was more than 118.
Yeah, just over shade of 118, yeah.
Incredible stuff from Campbell. He knows that the job is not done. And if you consider his last 96 match last year went all the way with Lawrence Ilagan, and then he went all the way with James Wade. He knows a thing or two about really good 5-set matches. But he made the decision last year, Dance, that after beating Wade, he'd go home. He went back to Toronto.
That's right,
and then He said, I'm going to come back and play a Littler just after Christmas. It didn't go very well. Let's put it that way. He lost in 5 sets, and Littler was just a little bit good. Because he made it all the way to the final eventually. Suljovic is going to have to find something rather good himself here in set 4, otherwise he's going to be back in Vienna for Christmas.
Mensur require 132.
And Campbell, well, if he wants to go back on the red eye to Toronto, he's going to have to hurry up because he would be first up Sunday afternoon against Ryan Searle. Basically have to get off at YYZ, get his bags, get straight back to the check-in desk. Be a bit pointless, really.
It is pointless because when you go to Toronto, it takes ages to get through baggage claim and immigration.
95.
It's not the best airport in the world.
79.
Unless you're Canadian, I guess. You might fly through.
Yeah, that's probably true. Right, downstairs on a 79 checkered for Suljovic. He gets the treble 19. His first start at double 11 misses left. And then he splits, so he's on 11 points with Campbell, sitting on 138 to take the lead in set 4.
Well, it won't go. I thought after that 160 in the previous league, his confidence at hitting trebles to start a checkout would be sky high. Only 41 scored, so reprieve for Suljovic. 3 for double 4 is the target. The 3 is hit. And so is the double 4. So Suljovic wins the first leg of the 4th set for him, and Matt Campbell is 2 sets to 1 up. Only needs 1 more set to get through to Sunday afternoon and round 2.
I don't know if you've noticed this, Dance, but when Campbell does something that displeases him, I call him the king of the ironic thumbs up. He does it so that his opponent can't see it, but we can see it from our vantage point, and he just flicks that thumb up, just like I'm showing you right now. And it's because he's displeased with what he's done. He's trying to make light of the situation.
59.
It's like a mini Goldfinger. Mini Andrew Gilding. This is like a Gilding tribute act, I don't know. Can't be many of those about. Maximum for Suljovic. That's 3 apiece tonight for these two.
And that's another £6,000 raised for charity. Christian Kiss last night hit a 9-dart leg and made sure that a fan in the crowd got £60,000. He got £60,000 after not knowing that it was on the line. And the charity got £60,000 as well. If we get another 9-darter in this tournament, that will happen to somebody else. 2 treble 20s for Campbell. And that 140 gets him to 107. Suljovic on 96 for 2-0 in the 4th.
Treble 20 for double 18. First part of that's done. How about part 2? Just inside. Cross for double 9. Oh, that's well played. And he breaks the throw. And this game is seesawing and going back and forth. Now Suljovic seems to have the wind in his sails, and he's throwing for a 3-0 victory in set 4 to bring us back level at 2 each.
Now, the only way I can really categorise this game at the minute, it's like going to Metroland in Gateshead about 25 years ago and looking at the pirate ship in slow motion. It's going backwards and forwards, and you don't know where it's going to stop.
140.
Well, speaking of 9-darters, did you not say, was it you or Mason said before these championships that you were expecting 2, maybe 3 9-darters at this Worlds?
Yeah, I said there'd be a 9-darter from Gary Anderson and someone called Luke. I was trying to hedge my bets there with Martin Lukeman, Luke Woodhouse, Luke Littler, and Luke.
Lukeman doesn't count.
Luke Humphries. Of course it counts. He got through today. He's still got a chance.
He did. Not a well man, Martin Lukeman, but he got through his match this afternoon. In any case,
yeah, winning is a rather good painkiller.
Now then, Campbell from 265 is ahead in this 3rd leg and should get a leg on the board. Suljovic had an absolute bag of nails to start the leg with, so he's coming down from 354, won't get to a finish, but a great pick-off of 619s helps. Campbell from 170 should be able to set up for a 2-dart kill here, but no, only 60 scored.
Maybe not enough. Suljovic will smell an opportunity from 220 here, thinking maximum to lead tops. He's not going to get it. First treble 20 has not got any company. Only 83. and he will feel like that's not enough. Campbell will feel the same. He's got 110. That's treble 19, single 13, leaves tops. Doesn't quite stay in the set just yet, because the set might be over if Suljovic finds 137 again.
Yeah, he's done it once, but not here. Only a single 19 and 18 hit, and doesn't find the treble 20 either. So tops for Campbell. Oh, he's a good inch above. Well, pins it perfectly with the second. No need for a marker, because that first dart definitely wasn't one. 2-1 in legs to Suljovic.
Darts is curious, isn't it? Because in set number 3, Campbell was indestructible, averaging 121 plus. And before that maximum, his fourth, he was averaging 88 in this set. It's amazing how things can change when you draw the line under something.
41.
Suljovic's game has gone back into reverse. Whilst Campbell started with 4 perfect darts,
100.
but the 5th and the 6th were not in the red bit.
Has had a 9-darter on the tour, Matt Campbell, in Players' Championship number 3 in 2022.
57.
That's his sole perfect leg so far.
Looking very solid in the treble 20 area in this leg. Now, nice 105 from him, taking him down to 116 again. Suljovic yet to break 400 from 6 darts.
We're getting into very familiar territory here, Dance, because Campbell is so far ahead in leg 4. It looks like it's going to be 2-2 in the 4th set. And if he gets it, and we go to a final leg shootout in set 4, that's the exact same position that Suljovic was in the last time he was here with Van Gerwen. Exactly the same before that 161 checkout.
He's
57.
barely broke 300 after 12 darts. 71 for Matt Campbell to take us to a deciding leg in set 4. Treble 13 hit, double 16 just on the outside, but hit the second time, and he probably could have had 3 more visits to take that double. So 2-1 in sets to Campbell. If he wins this leg, he's through. If Suljovic wins this leg, we go to a deciding set. That's the magic of set play.
Campbell's got a really close friend in the crowd tonight, Keegan Brown, someone who has won plenty of games on this stage. Keegan has actually lost his tour card recently, and will be going through a rebuilding process after getting a pretty nasty health diagnosis. The same sort of thing that Serena Williams, I think Venus Williams has actually.
Yeah.
But this leg, it's all on the line, and Suljovic with only 43, that's not enough. Even though he is 100 ahead, Campbell's about to extinguish that.
Should be getting at least a ton here. Oh no, 81. Last dart drifts into small 1. So it's very tight in this deciding leg. Suljovic 19 points clear. Great first dart, right in the middle of the red bit. Follows it up with number 2. But the third dart is horribly snatched. But 140 is good enough, but not quite good enough to get down to a finish.
It was going to be good enough because Campbell left himself
39.
somewhat stupidly on 3-4-3 in this leg. When you're against the darts, you can't do that, because 3-4-3, even if you hit a maximum, you can't leave a finish. Suljovic has got lots of time to take us all the way here, and with 2 treble 19s there, he leaves himself on 50 to take us to a 5th and final set, where it will be best of 5 legs.
50 is then 18 for double 16. Of course it is. 2 16s for Suljovic. Inside, just. Next door is double 8. And he's just outside, but he'll be back because Campbell's back on 2-0-8.
Got to put the pressure on here, the Canadian, from 208, and he has. That 140 was beautiful. That's his 12th of the contest. Suljovic has only got 1 job. It's double 8 to take us all the way. More smiles from the gentle. And Matt Campbell stands there and soaks up everything, because he now knows if he wants to be in England for the next few days to play Ryan Searle. He must hold his throw in this set. It's best of 5 legs, no tiebreakers whatsoever. And this is shades of 12 months ago when Campbell won 3 sets to 2 twice. But if I may take you back to the 2021 championship, ultimately won by Gezi Price. That was a tournament that had 16 last set deciders that went to the last leg. 16 games. One of them included Campbell against Scott Waite.
I wonder whether that's by virtue of the fact that everything was behind closed doors, that tournament.
There was a curfew, so we had to have the new rule of no tiebreakers.
Yeah.
And that has been carried through to the last 96 phase of these tournaments here.
When you look at the merging throng around us here tonight, it seems that tournament where we were in a hermetically sealed commentary box well away from this main room feels like a lifetime ago.
I personally think that tournament was the best Worlds we've ever had, but nobody saw it live. Everybody heard it on talkSPORT 2 though.
It certainly did. Now in this first leg of the deciding set, another ironic thumbs up from Campbell as he hits 40, but he's down to a finish of 124. Suljovic is up to his old tricks and nowhere, trying to get down from 311.
95.
Just 95 scored.
124.
1-2-4 for Campbell to take the first leg. He's not going to do it. Treble 5 doesn't help this situation, but that treble 20 leaves him on 49. He'll go for the 17 here and find the middle of the big 17. Double 16 will be his target when he returns. This is a really good steady leg from Campbell. 15 darts thrown and he's on a double.
58.
Only 58 from Suljovic. Leaves 158, no pressure.
Darts in his hand for double 16. He's inside double 16, Campbell. Double 8 next door, inside that as well. So this would take the roof off. If Suljovic could pull off a 158 checkout, 2 treble 20s. No, it's not going to go, and he knows it, shakes his head. Small 20 is all he could muster with that first dart.
26.
And only 26 bed and breakfast. He's not exactly ate into that 158.
Not at all. Campbell's missed double 4 by an inch high. It wasn't a marker once again, but he still gets the victory. 1-0 to the Canadian. And if Suljovic doesn't break through in this final set, he will lose. He's got to find a spurt from somewhere because time is running out.
A lot of tension on that stage. Suljovic isn't smiling much anymore like he was and joking with the audience at the end of the second set. And everything in the garden seemed rosy. But now he's piling up the trebleless visits. He's had almost twice as many trebleless visits as his opponent. 17 for Campbell, 32 for the Austrian.
Well, Suljović's tour card is not safe at this point in time, especially if he loses this match. Campbell will be safe for the tour for the next year if he completes this set and this victory. Suljovic is probably okay, but there are no guarantees until somebody taps you on the shoulder and says you're safe. But they're not thinking about that right now. They're thinking about just winning a set and getting through.
Tottenham might be safe into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. They're now 2-0 up on Manchester United. Live on talkSPORT, Dejan Kulusevski with the second for Spurs. Sam Matterface and Leanne Sanderson are there at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. If you want to swipe on your talkSPORT app, but stick with us because we're in a deciding set here.
I wonder if that's a sign dance, because we just had a goal from someone who is rather strawberry blonde, and the strawberry blonde on the stage right now has just left 170, trying to get the second big fish check out of the tournament after Nick Kenny finished the first game of the night with one.
100. May require 170.
Well, here we go for a 2-0 lead. Oh, he hits treble 1. Lovely cover on treble 19 though.
79.
And takes himself down to 91. Now Mensur to level up at 1-1 in this final set. 118 is the shot. Treble 20 hit, 18. Leaves double top for 1-1. On the wire, right on the top. Goodness me, Nico.
My word, that was close. Campbell on 91, It's big, this. 25 hits, 66 left. He's got the bullseye. And he gets another 25. It wasn't a bad try. It's just not accurate enough. And Suljovic has got 3 darts at 40 points for 1-1 in the final set. First dart, high. Not particularly a guide for him. So now he's on double 10 after going low on tops with dart 2 and misses double 10. That could be critical.
25 for Campbell, 9 for double 8. Only 2 darts in his hand though for double 8. Only needs the one. And he's broken the Suljovic throw, and he's only 1 leg away from victory, Matt Campbell.
The only way that Suljovic can win this game now is in a final leg shootout, but you've got to get there first. And he's got to do something in this final set that at the start he needed to do once. Now he needs to do it twice with a hold, which is break the throw of Campbell, and it's even harder now he's started with a 140.
Great start from the Canadian. Suljovic runs for cover at treble 19, picks off 4 19s in the end. Lovely pick off of treble 19. If he carries on like this, Campbell's going to get him walking at the end of this leg.
That was diabolical, Dance.
100.
Showing the bottle at the moment is Campbell.
140.
If only Mark Wilson was doing this commentary, he'd have been Campbell from throw number 1.
He will petition to do Matt's next game if he wins, which it looks like he is going to do. However, Suljovic has hit a max till he 125. Campbell 89 for the match. Single 19, should go 20 in bull. Missed it in the previous leg. Can he get it to win the match? He can! Campbell can! A great final set from Matt Campbell. Breaks the Christmas wishes of Mensur Suljovic, who should hold on to his tour privileges, even though he's lost this first round match. But for the second consecutive year, the Ginger Ninja is into the last 64 of the PDC World Darts Championship. He's going to be playing Ryan Searle on Sunday afternoon, and I'm sure Ian Danter is going to be sitting on the fence with that one.
Well, heavy metal up against the Ginger Ninja in a second round encounter, and Campbell got pegged back twice by Mensur Suljovic, but he got the job done in the end. 3-2 the victory with an average of just over 93. Next up, Rob Cross's practice partner Scott Williams takes on Nico Springer for the right to face Cross in round 2 of these championships. And Mark Wilson and Chris Mason will guide you through Williams against the German Nico Springer. Next up, here on your home of Darts on the Radio, talkSPORT 2.